Festi fam, the time is now. Festival goers unite. Welcome to the Festi Files podcast, where we highlight the creative and inspiring individuals who come together collectively and create the festival experience. So if you're watching this at home and you attend music festivals, you're in the crowd dancing like no one's watching, you're behind the scenes, right? Pre-production, all that good stuff. If you're on stage providing the beats, or if you're a vendor, just anyone that loves music, you are contributing to the experience. Anyone that loves people, really, because the world is a festival. My name is Desmond Beristain, CEO of Festi, the Festival Smart Band. And let's get right into it. Today we have royalty in our presence. We are in the presence of royalty, not me, this guy, the Rave King, the Rave King. Hold on. I might get knighted today. I got the sword right here.
No way.
I'm bringing out my sword. This is a first. Festi sword in the building.
Is that made of hurlers?
Yeah. So we had someone. Yeah, dude.
That's
we had.
even lights up. What the heck, dude?
He goes, what the heck? Shouts out Radkins Candy Smith. Custom sword. So it says Festi. That's the eagle eye there. But it says Festi. And love Porter Robinson. So it's Porter Robinson themed. And hopefully you will anoint me today.
For sure.
But yeah, let's get into it. This guy's a traveler. He's an artist. You might have seen his work, Rave King Art. And, you know, his mantra is simple. Ignite positivity, spread love, change the world.
Change the world. Yes.
So welcome to the Festi Files podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. So let's get right into it. You know, what's your story? What brought you to music festivals? And how have you been able to intertwine that with your artwork?
So I started going to festivals when I turned 17. I actually went to my first festival. It was in South Lake Tahoe or North. I don't know where Snow Globe is. Is it North Lake or South Lake? But it was Snow Globe, which is like the festival over the New Year's.
Yep.
And it was just
cold.
There was like 3 feet of snow on the ground. And I thought, this is crazy. There's like 30,000 people just piled in, all cuddled up in like 3 feet of snow, listening to, you know, I think it was who was it? Jack U and G-Eazy was there.
Oh, dude. Yep.
It was insane. I was like, this is nuts. But I started going to festivals back then. I started going to like EDM shows in high school. But I was a hard rocker kid, like growing up, and then like I kind of like sprouted. My parents were always like stuck in the 80s and stuff, and so like I was always like in that like hard rock mindset. And then like high school came about, and I think I went to my first EDM concert when I was like 13. It was just mind altering. I was like, this is crazy. This is insane. This is like nuts. And it kind of just changed from there. And then I started going to shows more often. And the name Rave King actually came about because people were making fun of me for going to all these EDM shows in high school, all these raves. And so my buddy Levi actually started calling me the Rave King, like as a joke. And then all of a sudden, like I found this like waterproof blow up crown at Spencer's for like $7. And I started wearing those to raves. And then like the Rave King name stuck, and everybody started calling me that. It was literally just crazy how it all happened. And then a couple years back, 2016, as soon as I graduated high school in 2016, and I literally I made like a clothing brand out of Rave King, and then I came up with the logo, and that's kind of how it all started.
Dude, that's fire, man. Well, let's show some love to the hard rock. So when you say hard rock, because I grew up. What do you mean by hard rock? Because I was skating, I was into it all, man. Maybe there's some groups that I'm feeling there.
I mean, hard rock, I can like, I'm Ozzy, Metallica, like, oh shoot, I don't know, like Motley Crue. That's kind of like maybe not hard rock, but there's like some newer, like I went to the hard rock festivals like Mayhem Festival and like the Uproar Festival, which had like a bunch of just hard rock bands like Slipknot, Godsmack,
Yep.
like that those type. It was just I think Disturbed was in there a couple times. I don't know. There's like a whole bunch. Like my music selection, it was just stupid crazy for how like vast it is.
Dude, that's exactly like me. Like I love so many different genres. Like grew up
Oh,
at
100%.
you
And
know,
like
like and
I don't know.
EDM itself has like sprouted so many genres. So when you
Oh,
mentioned that, like same, I went to my first festival. I didn't even know what to expect because I was like, bro, I'm honestly I'm bumping like August Burns Red. I'm bumping like, you know, just
dude, you
skating and
can't
all
even
that.
think, you can't
And
even
then I
think of
go
it.
there and I was like, I'm getting that vibe from this though. Like
Like
something about the
certain like genres in the EDM community like kind of spark like the hard rock and like metal type like things. Like I think it was like Sullivan King does a really good job of like kind of bringing that like hard rock thrasher metal into EDM, and of course Excision kind of just brings that like just headbanging type, just
Yep.
getting in. But yeah, it was just nuts. It's all crazy how it all kind of just conformed into one,
Exactly, man. And you know, unfortunately, we're not able to attend festivals right now, but that's
Yeah,
literally why we kicked off this podcast because we're like, fine, we're not able to attend, but we're able to share our stories, and everybody has a story. So
absolutely.
that's a little bit about your story. Now let's get into. It says you're a traveler, so you must have been
Mhm.
attending, and you're the Rave King. So
Yep.
what would that regiment consist of? Is that like just staying in Cali, or were you going out of state, out of country?
No,
How was
so I went to 20, I think it was 2017 or 2018. I attended like 22 music festivals that ranged from like California to Washington to Oregon to like Utah. I went down to Texas for one, and then all the way up to Michigan for Electric Forest. Actually, I'm wearing an Electric Forest shirt right now. It's
Hey,
kind of funny. And then I went all the way down to Miami for Ultra, and then back up to Ohio. I made a crazy trip. It was like last minute. I didn't know if I was gonna go to Lost Lands or not, and I got a free ticket for something. I don't remember what happened, but I literally drove all the way to Ohio from Idaho, which is like
wow.
a 32-hour drive, like literally a day and a half before. And I was like, shit, we're gonna make it, and we just came and went. It was nuts.
So do you roll with like the squad? You bring the the keyboard?
So I'm actually like, I have like different like cliques, I guess you could say, like kind of everywhere a
Yeah.
little bit. So sometimes I'll just honestly go by myself, and I'll even meet new people, or maybe I'll run into somebody. But I'm kind of like a lone ranger when it comes to stuff like that. But then other times, like EDC, I always have like a group to go with. Um, but like for Electric Forest, I went by myself. For Ultra, I went by myself. It was just, I don't know. It's I sometimes when you're in a group, I just don't like the group vibe sometimes, because like other people want to do something else or want to see somebody else, and I want to go see somebody else, and then I hate like splitting up the group and whatever. But I
No,
don't know.
dude, that's exactly like that's the funny part because everyone think like festies so that everyone could stay together. I'm like, no, we created
So
this festie so that I
so
can
that
dip
everybody can
out
go
for like
yeah,
1 hour.
separate.
And yeah, I want to dip for 1 hour. I want to go check. I don't want to dip for 7 hours. I just want to dip for 1 hour
No,
and
because
come
as soon like
back.
if you didn't have Festi, you literally would not be able to find like the person for like another like basically almost the whole show, and so you like randomly just run into them, and it's just like, oh, what? Yeah, it's crazy.
Which and there's nothing wrong with that. It just could affect the whole plan. Like I've had a friend, like same thing, fly him out. It's like you get to the festival, it's like, all right, man, let's go do this. And he's like, hold on real quick, let me go say hi to this guy. And then
Yeah,
all of a sudden it's like that was like at 8:45 p.m. and then like you don't see him till like 6 a.m. and you're like,
yeah, 100%. Or like EDC, there's so much like stuff to do there besides like
mm-hmm,
watching like the shows and whatnot, and like sometimes with all the same festivals, because I've been going to the same festivals like every year, and I've seen like everybody that I want to see, except for I haven't seen Flume, and I haven't seen um oh shit, there was one other person that I haven't seen, that but I've basically seen like everybody that I've like wanted to or listened to.
Yeah.
And so I like experiencing the festival besides just the music aspect. Like EDC does a lot of art stuff, but like when I was at Electric Forest, I only saw two like sets that whole weekend.
Wow.
It was literally insane. There was so much crazy stuff to do. Have you ever been to Electric Forest?
I have not, dude. And everyone recommends Electric Forest to me. They're like, you have to go.
It's literally like life changing. How like cool and just like amazing it is. Like there's like I'm not gonna spoil all the secrets, but like there's fun stuff to do and like stuff to find in the forest that like will lead you to like a secret like passageway in the very back of the festival. It's just nuts. And like nobody from the group that I was in or that I like got connected to while I was there like experienced that. They were all like worried about like getting to each set, and I was like, I've seen Bass Nectar like 5 times, even though I've seen him. I went there and saw that set, but like I've seen you know like Keizo, and I've seen like all these guys everybody wants to see like over 10 times that same year, because I go like another thing is like everybody goes to like maybe 1 or 2 festivals a year, so it's like, oh, it's so crazy. But like literally last week I was literally at that exact same set with you know whatever. So it's a little bit different for me because I usually go to so many of them. But yeah, so I got to experience like just behind like the music and like just the art and everything. It was awesome.
Dude, yeah, that's the thing. Like seriously, for me too, it's I want to be able to do my own thing, go off and just like vibe, right? Especially if you've already seen them 5 times, and it doesn't mean that the 6th time wouldn't be amazing. It's just you're at the festival, you're like, I'm here, like I want to see like what are the intricacies and what literally sets this one apart. Talk
100%.
about like, for example, you're followed by Ekali, and shouts out Ekali because dude, like I remember 2016 Hard Summer seeing Ekali at like 3 p.m. right, like early in the day, and then being like, yo, wow, this guy's gonna blow up, and then like a year later. Now he's at 6, 7, 8, and now he's like, you know, headlining or getting the prime time at Escape and Beyond. And yeah, man. I mean, if he follows you, he must be showing you love. So
So I met Ekali in Miami for Ultra, and the guy that I stayed with, he actually like looked like Ekali, and he was a photographer. And so we tricked the people in the elevator that we were going down that my roommate was Ekali, and they like took pictures with him and everything, and it was just funny. And then we actually ended up meeting him at the festival, and it was just like, oh, that's just so funny. And then we got in contact there, and then he came through Boise to headline a show here. And then I reconnect with him, and he's like, "Oh, it's like so crazy that just like a small world, you know."
That's
so
like
that's how we connected on that.
Yeah, it's like the universe playing trick on you too. It's like the universe is vibing because we're gonna pretend this guy looks like Ekali, and then you like run into him for real, and you're like, wow, this is.
It's like, whoa, that was crazy, you know.
So let's get into your art, Rave King art. Tell us all about it.
Okay, so I started doing like art my mom always had me doing like arts and crafts growing up, and then when I got into high school, I really focused on my drawing, and then I never was really into painting until like my senior year. And then like, actually no, I think it was junior year, I got into spray paint art. Mm-hmm. And then somebody like tagged me in a post on Facebook that was like a video of like a person doing it or whatnot, and I literally I basically just copied it of like what I like imagined in my head doing it. I posted it on Facebook, and it like blew up. It got like 1,000 likes and like over like, I don't know, like 7,000 shares or something like that.
Wow. And
I sold that exact painting that I just like randomly put out there for like $150 the next day.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh, this is like nuts. So that's where I started like spray painting and doing that stuff. And then I really got into painting, and I've sold my first painting for like over $1,500, like when I was 17. And then I turned 19, so like a year and a half later, after I graduated high school, I started tattooing. And my parents got me a tattoo machine for my birthday. It's like a little tattoo kit from like Amazon or whatever.
Yeah.
And I started I just taught myself how to tattoo, and then now, passed by like 3 years later, I own a tattoo shop, and I travel. Like I just got back from LA. I'd go to LA every month, basically every 2 weeks to tattoo down there, and then I've been flown out to like New York and Miami and like Tulsa, Oklahoma, which is like a random place, but like I've basically been like almost everywhere due to tattooing, which is just like nuts,
Dude.
And, oh yeah, well, speaking of that, honestly, I got a new project coming up with Bonnie and Clyde. I got invited. Okay, I'll tell you this story. This is just a crazy story. So, I go to LA and I hang out with like all these influencers and whatnot, and that was just a crazy experience altogether. Well, this past time we went to like a bunch of parties, and I don't usually party down there that much. I'm usually like more focused on like working and tattooing and whatnot, and just like making connections. But we partied like for like 3 days straight, and we went to this first party, and it was just like it was like a little dope house, and then all of a sudden like you go to the backyard, there's just like art everywhere.
Word.
And I introduced myself to like the first like girl that comes up to me and says hi, whatever. And I have my little logo on the stickers and whatnot. So I hand out like my stickers that have my Instagram on it and whatnot. She's like, oh, do you like the EDM scene at all? And I was like, oh yeah, I go to festivals and shows all the time. They're like, do you know Bonnie and Clyde, like the music duo? I'm like, yeah, I love that. I've seen them like a bunch of times. And she's like, oh hi, I'm Bonnie. And I was like, what? And it just stunned me. And then turns out I was literally partying at Bonnie and Clyde's house.
So funny, dude.
Yeah, and so I'm doing a big mural for them in their backyard, like above their pool, or like they have like a big wall that's like above their pool and whatnot. And I'm doing like a crazy scene for them back then. So,
dude, shouts out to Bonnie and Clyde. My friend Kara, literally like always tells me about Bonnie and Clyde, so it's great to hear from someone else now too. It's just like all positive vibes, Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah, no, they're her name's Bonnie's Paige and Clyde is Daniel.
Yeah,
and both of them are just like really great people for sure.
Awesome, dude. And yeah, let's talk about tattooing a little bit, man. I mean, shoot, I'm just scrolling through. It's funny though because I saw like I think you had like a Jaws tattoo on your arm, or
yeah.
Like,
so I got.
I was gonna say, dude, that's fire.
Thank you. I got a whole underwater sleeve going on right now, and then it's going to turn into like halfway up. It's going to turn into like a wave, and then have like a volcano exploding on the top, like the top of my arm. And then like on this side, I've got like the space theme. I got like my space guy and everything over there.
Wow.
Alien spaceship. So I got like the water and sea or sky together type of thing.
Dude, that's epic, man. Yeah, I love tats, and I'm just scrolling through your artwork here. Looks like you do a lot of black and grays.
That's what I've been doing most. Like I like doing mandala and dot work type stuff, but I also just like love doing color pieces too. That's crazy. Like anything to give me kind of like a like to push my limits a little bit with tattoos or just art in general. I like kind of doing.
Shouts out to Juice WRLD. I see the Juice WRLD tat right here, man. Love that.
That was a drawing. That's a drawing with pencil I did.
Really?
Yeah. And then if you scroll down a little bit more, there's another one with Mac, X, and Peep.
What?
That one's crazy.
I gotta see this one, dude, because, dude, yeah, I'm big on like, oh my gosh.
You found it.
Bro, this is beautiful, man.
Isn't that crazy?
That's pencil?
Yeah, that's all pencil. It took me 27 hours to do.
Amazing work, dude.
Thank you.
Shouts out to the legends, honestly. Juice WRLD out tomorrow. So yeah, man. Every time we talk about the legends, it gets me.
Right? It's nuts.
So that's the thing about festivals. The world is a festival, and you literally are traveling all the time, meeting people. Like, talk about what festivals mean to you.
So like the reason I got connected to festivals, they actually, the people that I like started going with, like, were super kind of like into just like getting fucked up every weekend to go to these go to these shows and whatnot. They were like super into drugs and drinking. And me personally, I don't do like any of that. I don't smoke. I don't do like any of the other stuff. I don't drink. I'm a sober raver, and I just have a good enough time listening to the music and like bouncing off people's energies and vibes that I don't need any of that to have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's like, it was like my little, every time I went to like a show or a festival, it was like my little vacation away from like the outside world, because nobody at a festival is like the same. Everybody's different. Everybody's got like a whole different like costume and like everything. Like people go all out for festivals, and it just like, it brought just so much, just like, I don't know, like love and compassion for like experiencing new things and like going out of my, like, I wouldn't say comfort zone, but just like going out and having a good time with people that you don't even know, you know? And so like experiencing that for like the first time at Snow Globe just really kind of set my brain to be like this, like there's better people out there in the world than just like the crappy people that you have to deal with like in school and just in like normal day lives, like your regular job or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully for me, I get to pick like who I work with, because I own a tattoo shop. But like people don't like their coworkers all the time. But people in festivals are just like completely different than like the outside world you have to live in, which is like awesome to experience, you know. And there's always just like, there's like peace, love, unity, and respect is like a real thing. Like it really happened, you know. And people are just so positive there, which was also like another thing. Like if the world just like was in the middle of a festival, the world would be a whole better place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Dude, 100%, man. And just like you mentioned, the whole peace, love, unity, and respect. Literally, someone sent this to us, and I was like choking back tears, because I'm like, or maybe I let some out, just because I'm like, dude, that's what this is all about. Like, wow, you don't even want any, like, still talking about it. I'm like, dude, it's wow, you know. And if we can all incorporate that, like you said, festivals are like an area of non-judgment, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And now that we're not attending them, I think it's a real good period for us to self-reflect, to be like, you know what, when we go back to festivals, like, look out for each other. You know, if you see someone by themselves, just make sure they're okay. If they're chilling, they're chilling. And, you know, if you see something going down that shouldn't be going down, you might have to step up and say something, or something as simple as picking up your trash. You know,
100%. 100%. Trash is a big thing. There's like, cause like at EDC, there's so much trash that like is just like piled up everywhere. You've probably experienced that, but like if you go around and still like all the trash cans are like still like full, and like there's just piled up everywhere. And so there's actually like there's been a couple times where I've met like, or they've had like a stand or whatnot, that you get like a big trash bag and you have to fill up like 10 trash bags and bring it back, and you get like a prize or whatever if like for how many trash bags you bring back or whatnot. I do that like every time. I probably fill up at least like 30 trash bags every time I go.
Dude, much love. Yeah, we literally we were at Crossed in San Diego, and we just had signs that said like, make sure to pick up your trash, because like we're vibing with everyone, but we're like, who wants to dance in trash? And it's not that hard. Like, I know we're turning up or everyone's having a good time, but is it really that much, you know, more to ask? And that's one thing about Electric Forest that I heard is like they're pretty good about their trash.
Yeah, there's like, I went there and I was just like surprised of like, there was like no, it was, everybody respects the forest. Like there's like the people that go like every year that will like beat that into you, that like you need to respect the forest and the forest will respect you, basically, type of thing. And so everybody like there was barely like any trash there. It was crazy.
Word.
People were awesome.
So I'm definitely, you know, excited to get out there. How has it been going from 20 plus festivals in a year to 2020 with really no festivals?
So it's been kind of like a jump, so it kind of gave me like time because I was going from like weekend to weekend, literally just jumping from state to state to festival. It was like I was only home like in the year of 2018 for like 57 days out of like the whole year out. That's the only time I was home. And so like it's definitely given me a kind of a step back to kind of get like I bought a house this year. I got my tattoo shop like all situated and everything's good. And so like it kind of got a little bit growing up to do a little bit, with all the festivals I had going on. And just like I'd probably go to over 100 shows and like 20 festivals, and that takes up like a good amount of your year. And so I didn't have that much time to do like the adult stuff, and had to get my life in order. So that's kind of like it's been a little bit of a break and to kind of focus on the stuff I need to kind of focus on. But I'm ready to get back into it. I've been like I'll go through like my certain days and I'm like, dude, I just really just need to go to a festival this weekend. That'd be sick,
Yeah, dude, same. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's dry unless you find like some underground thing. Like one of my friends was like, I want to throw like a little event 4th of July, and he like bought like 100 of the instant COVID tests, and I was like, dude, honestly, if we do that and you let me, I was like, I'll get on. I'll play music. I don't care. We just need to like, and it kind of felt like it, but we were just like grateful to have something. But we're all hitting that point where we're like, oh my gosh, please, like, there are so many people that even though right, everyone's like, obviously we're all concerned, but if they're like festival this week, you down? I might be like, I'm going, bro. Going.
There was a couple people that went to like the drive-in festival in Texas, and I was like, I don't know if I want to go. I don't know how weird it's gonna be. Like you're supposed to stay away from everybody, and that's like literally the complete opposite of what you're supposed to do at a festival. And so I stayed in LA and working, but I was like, damn, I just miss going and miss that atmosphere and that vibe.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to be the best when we're able to just get out there again and just fully immerse ourselves, fully enjoy, not have to really think too much. And that's where hopefully with Festi, we're like, hey, man, we want you guys to just be able to immerse yourself and enjoy the festival, like not so much all these other things that you got to think about. Bringing it back to the artwork. Mm-hmm. A lot of creatives right now, they needed this time, right? They're able to hone in on their craft and allocate and try things, and maybe, like you said, not be on the go constantly. Talk about your art process from like the painting perspective, or just kind of any perspective. How do you tap into that flow?
So like when I'm like not traveling, I'm like just straight in grind mode. So like I spend like the Friday before I left for Los Angeles, this last time I was tattooing until like 6 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
And I started from like 11 a.m. and just tattooed till 6 a.m. like the next day. And so like, it's just like a mindset that you kind of got to get into with like art and whatnot. Cause I don't know, with me, I get distracted really easily with like when I'm like painting and drawing and whatnot. So like if I'm home, like I'm thinking about like, oh, I got to go clean the kitchen. I got to like I got to like get the, garage done and whatnot. And so like when you're at like work or like my shop, it's kind of like my art space. So I kind of just like get to focus on like artwork there. That's why I'm kind of there so much. So that's kind of like how I kind of hone in on that for sure.
Having your own space, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where you walk in there and it kind of conjures up that energy. For you, it would be like the shop, or if you're traveling to another shop, right?
Yeah. Or like when I go to LA, I get to tattoo in these like big Beverly Hills mansions and whatnot, and it just gets me in the zone. It's like, all right, I'm ready to hang out and do some tattoos on people. And then I did a couple murals for some of the influencer houses down there, and then Bonnie and Clyde, that like opportunity arose, and I was just like, heck yeah. So now I get to do like, and they're making it a like little influencer party. So like I'll be painting like their wall, and they're gonna have like kind of like a big party to get like my name out there a little bit more. So that'll just be it's just fun. There's like little opportunities that arise from just like little things that you wouldn't even imagine, you know.
It's epic, man. And so you're a pretty young dude.
I just turned 22 this year.
22, man. How are you able to let's talk mindset, right? You just said you have your own tattoo shop. Talk about that process. And I mean, one of the things you said is you get to decide who you're working with. So you're creating that culture and environment, but talk about how that process has been going, because you need to have that mindset, right? And although you're going to those shows, you got to understand when you step in those doors, or probably when you're not even at the shop, you kind of have to have it in the back of your mind.
Yeah. So like being a business owner is like, it's had its ups and downs, and it's whatever drama stuff it's got going on. But like definitely like a mindset, like I've just got a kind of like a hustler baller mindset where I love just getting everything in order and, you know, having everything just go smoothly as possible. But I'm on like a grind mindset. I just love like going to work and putting in my time and everything. And like I said, getting to make my own hours and getting to like work with the people I want to work with, like hiring and firing and whatever. That's just, I've always wanted that. I've never like, and then like also with that, you get to have like your own time off, which like working in high school and whatnot, I was working for my dad, and he was my boss. And then I worked at like a restaurant, and like they never gave me time off. And I was like, this sucks. Like this is so just crappy, you know? And so like, I kind of had that mindset in high school when I like started selling paintings and whatnot, that I was like, I don't want to have a boss. I don't want to have that I don't want to have to ask somebody to go do something, or if I ask somebody to do something, you know? So I kind of just got that mindset early on, and then it kind of just arose. Like I was working out of my parents' house when I was like started, and I had like my dad has like this paint booth in his garage that like I got to paint whatever I wanted, and it was just like really open. So I've definitely a lot of like opportunities that other people probably wouldn't have, but it's still like a mindset to kind of get your butt in gear to kind of push and do the things you need to do to get your dreams and like goals achieved.
For sure, man. You know? It's like you have this you have this deeper appreciation for the grind, and you're willing to assume everything that comes with the grind, partly because you understand what the other grind is, and that's like a different kind of grind. It's just like grinding away at your soul. If you're working at the restaurant and doing this, which not knocking it, but same here. I'm like, this just isn't my vibe. I appreciate, like, it was a good learning experience to allow me to know, like, yeah, this is not what I want to do. And now that I get to create my own hours, it's not going to be an 8-hour day. It's not. It's going to be probably a minimum 12-hour day, you know, if anything, or more. Like you said, you just went to 6 a.m. tatting. Like,
but like with me, I love what I do, you know, and that's another thing. Like if you love what, like there's a saying, like if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life or whatever. That is so true. Like if you get to do, like, make art the way you want to make art, and just like there's nobody telling you like there's rules or whatever that you need to like abide by. It's fun, it's easy, it's not as like a harsh environment, and you're still getting paid for it, which is like even cooler, you know. And so I've definitely been blessed. I've definitely been, you know, I've had opportunities, but I didn't just like get handed those, you know. I definitely put in my time and my effort and worked extremely hard to get where I'm at, you know. So like there's people that'll like say that like, oh, well, you know, you're just lucky, and like, no, definitely not. I mean, I've definitely had like lucky opportunities, but like why I'm here is not all just based off of luck or like what, you know, my parents did to get me to where I'm at, you know, because I've been paying for my own way since like I was 15, you know. Bought my own car, like got my insurance, paid for my gas. Like everybody thinks because I have like all these nice things that like your parents helped you out or whatever, and it's just not true. I just put my grind in. So while everybody was partying in high school, I was, you know, drawing, getting my mind right for the next 3 years, you know.
Yeah, dude. And especially like it's funny when you're making art. Like, who's gonna help you make the art? That's number
No,
one.
exactly. There's like I like it was stupid.
Well,
Or
but it
it's just
also is
crazy.
like part of it, as you kind of like we said, assuming the role. People are gonna think that I got all this handed to me. People are gonna overlook all the amount of hours, time,
Mhm.
passion, the drive, the
Yep.
things that they don't see, right? The ideas, even the decisions you make, like being sober. Like you didn't
Mhm.
have to. You could be turning up and then trying to figure it out or scrambling, but you're like, yo, like it's just that's discipline. That's
No,
discipline.
it really is. Like I've got so much just like positive things going for me right now, and I don't want to slow myself down or like do anything to like kind of mess up that push of positivity and just grind towards what I want. And I feel like sometimes that like that'll slow you down with drugs or drinking like it would anybody. Like I see like people drink on a like a Saturday night, and then all of a sudden they're hungover for most of Sunday, and then they go to bed early to wake up on Monday. So that whole
Yeah.
Sunday just got like messed up by you
Yeah.
drinking Saturday night.
Yep. So,
So
dude, I mean, that to me, that's super inspiring. What if I'm an up and coming artist at home? I draw, I have my book. I want to get to the next level. What
mhm.
tips would you have for me? From a mindset perspective, from making opportunities for myself, from even social media and my own branding. What are like
so
3 tips?
so my like I get kind of questions like this somewhat often, but you got to paint and do like the art that's with the norm right now. So like I have an artist in my shop. He's an older dude. He's like 45, and he likes doing traditional work. And traditional work is not in like the now as of right now. It was like 30 to 20 30 years ago. But I told him that like Rick and Morty was like really popping off like a couple years back, and it still is. It's
Yeah.
still like crazy. So I told him to. It's basically the same thing, solid color, hard outline. It's basically what like the Rick and Morty characters are. So I told him to draw like Rick and Morty stuff, and just the things that are like popping as of like right now.
Hmm.
And once you get like the notice for doing like the things that catch people's eye as of right now, because like let's like Rick and Morty, or like this like the spray paint stuff like back in high school, that was like a really big thing back then, and you
Hmm.
were seeing it kind of like everywhere on Facebook for me. And so that was like a thing that was like in the popular norm like then. And so I've just like tell people to like find the popular norm and try and like scoot in your artwork and base it off of that. And then once you have like that solid like group of people, or solid like social media presence, then
Yeah.
you can start kind of pushing out your own artwork, that or like your own like thought artwork that you want to push out to people that is still cool.
Yeah.
But as soon as you get like that group of people that are just like invested in your work and just like love what you do with like everything that's like popping nowadays, then I can feel like you have to put in the stuff that you don't want to do to get to the point where, or to get to make the art that you want to do later on. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But for social media, I would just stay active and stay like making good quality content is like a really big thing. I try and post like every day to every other day for my art stuff. Now that I've gotten like bigger, I've kind of slowed down, or not, I would say bigger, but I've gotten a little bit more art presence, and kind of people know around of me. That it's easier for me to kind of just do my own thing that I want to do, instead of like having to find like stuff that people are interested in.
Yeah.
Um, like as of right now. So it's definitely paid off doing like that stuff earlier on. But just stay up to date, stay content, try and like another thing to get your name out there is to do like famous, like makes something like of a famous person. So
Hmm.
I drew a bunch of portraits for a bunch of influencers down in LA, and they put me on their stories and whatnot, and that gets you a bunch of, not saying like it'll happen to everybody, like I was definitely stoked when it did happen, but it'll definitely get you exposure for doing that. There's like a bunch of pages where people literally just draw like famous people's portraits just so that people, like I said, with what's popping with today, like Billie Eilish, or what's her name, one of the Kardashian sisters, whoever, just gets you popping.
It seems like the common theme that you're stating is adaptability, like being ready. That's one thing. You might get opportunities, being ready for them, but then creating them through the same method of adapting. All right, during these times, this is popping off. I'm gonna use my art, use my ability, and do my own rendition off of this. See what happens. Boom.
100%. Like adapting to your surroundings and what group of people you want to spread your art to is like, because there's people that just love like abstract art, which it doesn't really have, like, everybody creates their own meaning for it. And then you have like people who love like the trippy, weird, stuff that people like. And then you have like people just like, everybody's got a different art like thinking in their brain that they like. So it depends on what kind of art you're making, and who you will attract to your artwork is also like a big thing. So yeah, adaptability is like huge for sure.
So last, kind of bringing it full circle back to music, festivals. I mean, all art, it's all a language. It's a universal language, whether you're looking at something, interpreting it, it makes you feel a certain way. Give a shout out to some artists that are like right now in the Rave Kings playlist 2020.
Rave Kings playlist. Okay. So it's so difficult, but I've been hanging out with like a bunch of rappers down in Los Angeles. So I've been hanging out with like Lil Mosey. He's such a dope dude. NLE Choppa's been pretty popping. I've got like EDM artists. I just downloaded a bunch of Bonnie and Clyde off of Apple Music. Honestly, there's been some crazy like mixes that I've been finding on like SoundCloud. I have to have a list. I can't just like think of everything right now. But here, let's see if I can go grab my computer real quick.
Yeah. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna push out like all our podcast guests. Have you guys like make a little quick spot, playlist, and then promote that, because I feel like everyone, we gotta just share like, what are you listening to? Here's 15 tracks that like I've been vibing to in 2020.
Okay, so my recently added. Okay, so I got I've got Ian Dior. I've got he's like a rapper right now. Jansen and Yesh, Bring It Back. That's a solid track I got. What else we got? Dirt Monkey and Shank Aaron, Leviathan.
Yeah.
That one was so. Steve Angelo, Dopamine.
Hey.
That one's a solid one. And then I've got a Banana Bread remix by Brondo. I listened to it. It's like, here. Let's see.
Exclusive, showing love to artists right here. Who's this? Brondo, Banana Bread.
It's just got. How can I fast forward it? Here.
Dude, I got some fucking banana bread at work today, dude.
Have you seen that Banana Bread remix or the Banana Bread video?
No, I haven't. I got it.
Oh my dude, you need to see it. Okay, I'll send you a link. But
so it just goes to show that waiting for things is like worth it. But there's a lot of bad things in this world, dude. Like fucking skunks, dude. Hell no. Scratching your eye, but it's still fucking itchy, dude.
It's so funny.
Is this from a video?
No, they're getting paid a lot of money, dude. For fucking working.
This is mad funny, man. So we'll have to. I'll have to post that track in our description so that everyone can see, so that YouTube doesn't
What?
rain on our parade. I'll post that video or that track so that people can check it out.
Yeah, dude.
But word, man, I put you on the spot. You responded. I like that. Good job.
Sorry, I definitely. My whole playlist is like it ranges from, like I said, so much stuff earlier. It's just hard to like pick one, you know. And for people that only like listen to EDM music or only listen to rock music or rap music, it's definitely nobody's gonna know like who all those people are.
That's one thing though that I do like. I always give love to festivals that mix genres, because we've all been in that scenario where like you're walking around and you just hear the roar of the crowd and you're like, yo, where's that coming from? And it's just like always an artist that you're like, damn, that wasn't even on my mind, and boom, like now I'm on that, you know. And it could be a completely different genre.
Yeah, there's one stage at EDC that like we rarely go to, but it's always like just going hard. It's the what, I don't remember what genre it's called. Not hardstyle.
Drum and bass, hardstyle.
Hardstyle.
Yeah.
It's just like dun, 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 dun,
Oh yeah.
dun.
You'll see like her name's Lady Faith at like 3 a.m. You're just like, dude, they're still going at it. I'm like, bro, like you get in there for 20 minutes, just get a full lather on, just cardio.
Yeah, it's just like it's crazy. It's just crazy. Yeah, and I don't listen that much hardstyle, but like there's a crap ton of people that do, you know. And so you'll like just walk by the hardstyle stage, and just people just going nuts, and just like, what is this?
Yeah. You get in there. Sometimes you got to get in there and just wake up again, just jump in there. But
just go headbang and start going with it for sure.
That's cool though, man. That like, you know, I think it's really cool that you listen to so many different genres, and you even mentioned names that like people that you're, you know, around that are hip hop, you know, rock, EDM, like that. There's a universal language, and like we all gotta learn to appreciate that. I think even right now with everything going on just in the world, we're learning that like, damn, like, yeah, we're different, but there's so much similar, and there's so much that we could connect upon. So passing it to you, this is kind of like that last final question. There's an epic set going on, and at the end, they bring you up, they bring up the Rave King, they pass you the mic just to give a message to the world, to the festival community. The world is a festival, so passing it to you, what you got?
Like what I would say, like to like a huge crowd of people.
Yeah,
is that what you're asking?
Crowd of people, the world. You know, people are at home right now. This just giving the vibe.
Be kind to others. Like I said, ignite positivity. Rock out, man. Have a good time. Make life enjoyable. Don't worry about the little things. And hopefully like make one person's day better to create a strain of good days for everybody, and hopefully change the world. That's the goal.
That plus one mentality, you know, plus one, it adds up. Everybody rock on. And you just said it, like just spread that love. So how can we're inspired by this, how can we find you? Is social media, what are the handles?
So basically everything is just like, if you type in Rave King, I should pop up on everything. TikTok, Rave King. There's some underscores on Instagram, so like _Rave King _. But if you just type in Rave King, you'll find me. Twitter _Rave King. Artwork is just Rave King Art on Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, it's basically it.
Well, appreciate you, man, and we'll definitely have to be in touch because I'm in LA. So when you come to LA, we'll link up for sure.
I'm coming to LA on the 21st, so I'll be there 21st. Maybe I can get you at Bonnie and Clyde's house.
Dude, that would be
rock out.
I'm telling you, that would be the funniest thing because one of their real cool friends is one of my real cool friends, and just how everyone's connected. So that might be the move.
That'd be dope for sure.
Yes, sir. All right, everyone, we're signing out. The Rave King came through, knighted the boy. Peace, love, unity, and respect. Festy
Shout out
Files,
to Festy.
signing out.
Thank you guys so much for everything. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.